Welcome back to the Runeterra podcast with MajiinBae. We got a great show for you guys today. Before we jump into everything, though, we have to, of course, thank all of our patrons over on Patreon to help us make this a possibility, help us do what we do. Thank you guys so much. If you haven't checked it out already, Runeterra over on Patreon, we do like weekly learning calls, one-on-one coaching. The Discord's fantastic. Links to all that stuff below. And of course, we have to thank our brothers in arms over at Runeterra Radio, Saucy and Blevins. Absolutely love those guys. If you want more awesome Runeterra content, go check them out. Runeterra Radio on Spotify, YouTube, all the usual places. Okay. With that said, though, let's jump into things. It's been a big week for my boy.
Very big
making
week.
top 16 at Worlds. Fucking congratulations, sir. Well done. Yeah. Well done. Yet
Worlds
another
finals, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
Right? It's like Worlds Qualifiers, Worlds Finals. So made Worlds Finals. Very exciting stuff that happens in 2 weeks or 1 week from when this goes live. So we're recording a bit early since I'm actually going to be gone all weekend.
Yeah, where are you going?
I'm going to Disneyland.
Celebrating early.
Celebrating early.
Normally you win the tournament and then you tell people you're going to Disneyland.
Where are you going? I'm going to Disneyland. And then they pay you the bag, but I don't get that. So yeah, like I'm going to Disneyland. I had this trip already planned out because it kind of worked out. And then I was going to just kind of like take this week as like a break. You know, since I qualified for top 16, I was like, I've been going for so hard for so long. I'm going to take this week as like a break. I'm going to come back on Monday. I'm going to hit it. I'm going to be playing 12 hours a day of Runeterra, right? And then they send us the email that says, hey, all you qualified players, just so you know, deck lists are due on Monday.
Dun, dun, dun.
So they're due at the same time I get back from Disneyland. So I'm going to be in the hotel, like
on roller coasters.
In line, in lines for Space Mountain, like
playing on your phone.
Would you mulligan Ezreal here? Like, we'd be talking to Goofy, like, what do you think about Shen Jarvan right now?
There's no better testing than in the land of magic.
Yep, exactly. The happiest place on earth. So that is going to be my weekend. That was a little unexpected. My vacation is not as vacation-y as I want it to be now, but that's okay.
Could be worse. At least the open rounds weren't that weekend. Just totally kiboshing the vacation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'd have just stayed in the hotel and played on my phone or something, if that was the case. But yeah, so that's what I'm gonna be doing this weekend. I'm gonna be testing with the team, hopefully. I mean, the good news is that like we already know most of the stuff, right? Like, with
did a lot of testing rounds, already.
Everything was new. We did all the legwork already. Now it's just finding like what we think the best lineups are. Is there any new tech? Is there anything that people are missing? Maybe now that the meta is shaping up in this way, is this all of a sudden really good? Like that kind of stuff, right? And that's a lot fine-tuning. Yeah, that takes a lot less time. And I don't have to like see if I click with the deck or anything as much, right? Like I already know, can I play these decks? Do I like this strategy? That kind of stuff. So like if Henneke comes to me and says, hey, this is the nuts, you should try this, play this in this deck, I can just be like, okay. And like, I can figure that out pretty quickly, right? And then I just have to figure out my lineup and spend the rest of the week practicing it, which is kind of nice. Like if it wasn't for the fact that I was literally going to be gone until I have to register deck list, I would very much prefer this. Because my lineup will be set and I can just practice and that's all I have to do. And that sounds like really nice. That takes the stress out of it,
Totally. Yeah. You're not like
the night
jumping
like,
decks.
What if everybody brings Sivir, right?
Swapping things around. Yeah,
you exactly. Wake up out of a nightmare like, I forgot about Deep. Like that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's not going to be that bad. But I am really looking forward to top 16. Obviously the goal was to make it. This is a huge deal. There's only 6 from the Americas to be in, so really happy to be representing our Shard and our team.
Shout out to one of mine from our team who also made top 16. Yep, that's the easy way.
The easy way, the 4-0. I should probably talk about the actual World's qualification.
Yeah, your way was a tad harder, and in fact could not have made it more difficult on yourself.
Yeah, so you either went 4-0 or you had to win through loser's bracket. And if you lost in the first round, you had to win all 7. You had to win the next 7 in a row to qualify. So I show up feeling good about my lineup. I'm running Draven, Caitlyn, Nami, Zoe, Sivir, Akshan, Demacia, feeling pretty good. It ended up doing well in EU, which was a very nice like confidence boost on my lineup because I actually didn't know anyone else was on it. And then like a lot of the big EU guys, Fresh Lobster, Allen, were like on the same lineup. They reached the same conclusion as me, and that felt very nice. With some different card choices, some of which I stole, some of which I didn't. Some of which I was like, nah, I ain't about this. But like they were on Sump Fumes on Draven Caitlyn, and I thought that card was like really good, and I didn't even really know it existed. So yeah, I was really happy with my lineup. Show up round 1. I'm running a game against the Arsenal deck. I think I may have took like game 1. This was game 2 or something like that. But I'm playing against the Arsenal deck. And turn 7 comes around, maybe in game 1. I don't know. I play Aloof Travelers on turn 7 to hit the Arsenal, right? Because like the deck can't beat you unless it plays the Arsenal for Draven Caitlyn. Like there's just no way. So I play Aloof Travelers. I hit the Arsenal out of their hand. Perfect.
Awesome.
Nailed it. Turn 8, they play the Arsenal. That's a little unlucky. It's okay though, right? I can kill it. It's my turn. I can kill it, or something like this. So I kill it, right? I pop the spell shield, I put damage on it, I scorched earth it. Not that big of a deal. Next turn, they play on the Arsenal number 3. The game is locked as long as they don't play the Arsenal number 3 that turn. And Arsenal number 3 hits the board, and I'm like, whatever. It's only got like 5 keywords. What are the odds? They hit Elusive, Scout, Spell Shield. I was like, are you kidding me?
Oof.
And I lost. So I lost round 1. And that was brutal. I was a little bitter. Not about like, oh my god, my opponent's a luck sack, right? Like that's not what I was thinking. I got a little high rolled, and like that happens, right? I high rolled my opponents later in the tournament. But like it was rough because I felt like my lineup was favored, and I felt so good about my lineup. And then to drop round 1 and knowing you have to 7-0 instead of just winning 4 is so brutal. It's so tough to drop a round and know all of a sudden now I have to win 3 more rounds than I would have before, and I felt really good into that matchup. Like, it was just really rough. So I like took a second, shook it off, right, win to round 2, and yeah, I rattled off 7 in a row, which was insane. Like I did not expect to make it after I dropped round 1.
Yeah, I mean that's no small task. And man, were they ever some nail biters? Like most of them went to a game 3.
Oh
like,
yeah,
like they were definitely the last 3 or 4.
They were always close. Yeah,
super close. So your stream got cut off at the end. We didn't get to see the last game. What transpired right at the end?
So normally what happens in a delayed tournament, especially where I do well, I will turn off the stream after I'm done playing the match, right? And I will let the stream continue. And then once the audience gets to the part where the stream cuts off, then I restart the stream, but live, so they can refresh. And I can be like, we made it, right? Like, yeah, it's fun for everybody. It's fun for me. I get to like actually celebrate with everybody. It's fun for them. They get to like, congratulate me or console me depending on what happened. And so there's 2 things on OBS you can hit. You can hit stop streaming, or you hit stop streaming discard delay. And stop streaming discard delay will get rid of everything that's queued up, right? So I had 15 minutes of footage queued up, but I accidentally hit stop streaming discard delay. So it just dumped it. So it's like, it's a nail biter of a game 2. It's really close. And I ended up losing game 2, but it could go either way. And that's
where we stopped watching.
It just stops. It just stops. And it was like a really intense game 3. And I was just like, oh no. So I go back live and I'm like, hey guys.
I totally knew when you were talking like that. I'm like, he fucking won. He won for sure.
I got a lot of people though. I
lost game 2.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, so we lost. We did lose game 2.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, look at me.
Right. I was like, there's no way anybody's falling for this, because I'm sitting there with a big shit-eating grin on my face, right? I'm like, so we lost.
Yeah.
Like, how could anybody not know? But also, I would probably have kind of the same facial because I like messed up, and that's just like my go-to reaction is just like big dumb smile. But I probably wouldn't have been quite as
jovial.
Yeah,
that would have been rough. So, could you imagine? I mean, like all the way you go rattle off 6 wins, game 3, super tight, lose game 3.
Luckily, I don't have to imagine. My poor opponent, though, does.
I mean, did they lose round 1 too? Probably not.
No. Well, most of the people who made it to the end didn't have to play 8 rounds.
Yeah.
Because they lost in the uppers, and they get put straight into, like, the day 2 part of it. So, I think I have no idea if this is correct, but I imagine I was one of the only ones who, like, in all regions, who lost round 1 and won all the way back.
Probably. Just statistically, it's so impossible.
It's, like, so tough. Yeah. So, got incredibly, ran well, got very lucky. I think I played really, really well. I had a couple of like mistakes, but in an 8-round tournament against like the actual best players, it's just going to happen. You're going to make a couple of mistakes and nothing like absolutely like, oh my God, I can't believe he did this. Right. Like that kind of stuff. But a couple things, had some very, very, very close games and that was really fun.
It was really exciting to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. Very much looking forward to top 16. I'm hoping, because the way they do it, for those of you who aren't familiar, because I didn't even know it and I'm in it. Someone had to explain it to me. So there's 4 groups of 4, right? They split you up into 4 groups of 4, right? And then you play, I think it's a double round robin. That'd be single round robin. You play against all the people in your small 4-person group, right?
So if it was single round robin, that would be 3. You play everyone once, so it'd be 3 matches.
I think it's probably double round robin.
Okay,
that would make more sense, but I'm making that up. I don't really know. I can find out, but you'd have to fill time while I look it up. So let's just, it's a round robin. We're gonna say it's round robin. And the 2 people with the highest win rates, right? The best record, in each group move forward into a round of 8. Which I think is double. I say I know what it is, and I don't know any of this. I think it's double elimination.
I thought it was single elimination into the top 8. It's
probably single elimination round of 8. Yeah, wow, that's really bright. I'll find out right now. But I'm hoping I do not get put in the same group as What Am I? Because he's NA upper and I'm NA lower because I had to go through the loser's bracket. So there's like, a 25% chance that we get put into the same bracket, and that would suck.
Yeah. It'd be unfortunate for sure. It is what it is, though. I mean, like, that happens when you have a team like ours, when you're just going to run into people. If anything, it means that like one of you is probably going to make the top cut or whatever.
Yeah, it's very likely that one of us makes it, right?
This is actually one of the parts of Worlds that I actually like. I think this is a cool thing to do, this like putting people into groups. It's like kind of reminds me of like the World Cup. They have like the group stage.
That's how they do like League of Legends too. And I do really like that.
Oh, is it? That's pretty cool. Yeah, I like just things being a little bit different than the usual like Swiss, cut to top, single limb, double limb. Like we've seen that a million times. It's like this is fun. Also, depending on, do we know when we get to find out who is in each group? Because that's one of the fun things, right?
Yeah,
we don't know. Yeah,
like,
at some point,
Group B's the group of death, right? Like that's fun.
Yeah, there's always gonna be one.
Group C's so free, right? Like that's a good time. And then we don't know when deck lists will be released because we have to submit them on Monday, right? And the tournament's not till like Friday or something. I should really know this stuff. And then we don't know if like our deck list is going to be released before groups. Our groups going to be released before deck lists. We don't really know.
Will it just not get released until like the tournament starts? That's I hope typical.
I hope they give us at least a day or two, right?
You think you want deck lists to be released early?
I want to know the groups and the deck list 2 days early. I would like to be able to test
Does that mean
them.
that like everyone's just going to be testing like crazy?
Yeah, I think that's totally fine. I think that's fun. And I want the community, like if I were part of not just a watcher, right? If I was just a community, not a player, I want time to like talk about the group pairings and stuff.
Yeah.
I want time to theorize on my own. Like, oh, okay, well, Anivia's not normally very good here, but like in group A, like that seems like it might be a really good pick, right? Stuff like that. I think that's really fun.
That's a really good point. It allows for a bunch of speculation and creates a lot of hype for the tournament. That's true.
And yeah, I would like to see that. I'm still scrolling down the rules, by the way.
Yeah, so if deck lists don't get locked in till Monday night, then there's no way they're showing groups before that, I would imagine.
Oh, before? I mean, probably not.
No,
okay,
so it'll be like sometime next week.
Group stage is a single round robin format. That kind of sucks.
Whew.
That's only 3 rounds.
3 matches.
Isn't this a 3-day tournament? Why?
Is it really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I was going to be like, well, what?
Sunday. Like, why?
I was like, what about all the? I guess. Well, there are. Maybe they do like 2 groups on day 1, 2 groups on day 2, and then like the top 8 on day 3.
Yeah, and then it's single elimination on top 8, and that's probably it. But that's only like, yeah. I mean, it gets it 6 matches, right? 6 matches a day.
And if they want to showcase,
you're going to broadcast 1 each time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of matches if they were going to try and show as many as possible. So there's definitely a lot of content there to fill up. It is the top 16, right? It's not like other events where you just need to, get the tournament moving. Like they have time to slow it down a bit and feature a bunch of the games. What happens though with like tie breaks? Because isn't there shouldn't someone theoretically someone could go 3-0, someone could go 0-3, and then 2 people could go 2-1 or something like that?
Yeah. Okay. So in a 2-way tie, they will compare the results of head-to-head matches between the players. The players who won against the other will advance. So head-to-head first in 2-way. In a 3-way tie, that's where someone 3-0s and 3 people 1-2. We will first determine a winner by looking if there's a player with a 2-0 record among the tied players. There shouldn't be. Oh, if someone won twice, that shouldn't happen. I don't know, man. This sounds.
Can 3 people go 2-1?
If
2, 4, 6.
If one person 0-3s, can 3 go 2-1?
3, 4,
Everybody
5,
wins
6
against the 0-3
losses.
and then they win against each other.
It'd be 6 losses, 6 wins. So I think that works out.
Yeah. And so they're saying if one person beat 2 of the other tied players, they will get moved through. Right.
Okay, that makes sense. Right. And then same tiebreaker for the. I don't know. Weird stuff happens around robin.
Yeah,
I'm sure it could happen.
Happens. Anyway, head-to-head on 2-way ties is, I feel like, the most relevant one.
So long story short, you 3-0, you're good.
Just win all 3. Duh. What's the problem here? Easy.
And then 2-1, you're rooting for the person that you lost to beat everyone else.
No,
because then they're 2-1.
You want the person you lost to lose.
That's right.
Because you lose the head-to-head tiebreaker against them.
So yeah, you want the people that you beat to win, right?
Yes, exactly. So yeah, that's the format. It is different. I do wish it was double round robin, though. 6 matches, I feel like, is a little less variable.
It is a decent amount of matches. Yeah. Each person doing 6. It is going to be super exciting, though, when it comes to the 3rd round and being like, oh, this person needs to win, and this person needs this person. They need to win, and they need this person to lose. Yeah. Where is it going to shake out? Because almost no matter
if
what,
this person loses and this person wins, then this guy can squeak in. Yeah, that's fun. That's a good time.
No matter what, it's still you're still going to have a shot, basically, unless you're 0-2. Then I think you're maybe kaputs.
And you're probably out. But
but the other 3 people are probably doing great.
It'll be fun to watch. Just hoping, obviously, like we said, don't get put in a group with What Am I? I don't really care who else is in my group other than that.
Shots fired.
I mean, everyone's
take that,
good.
Alan.
Top 16, everyone's really good. Right?
Everyone's good. Yeah,
how much better is the best player versus the worst player in top 16? Probably not much.
Yeah, no, the gap here is very, very small. Everyone's top of the mountain, absolute killers. And that's what's going to make for some just fantastic viewing for the rest of us.
Hopefully. Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Should be good. And then obviously there's pretty big prize money up top.
That's
they
right,
spread
40
out
Gs.
the prize pool quite nicely. I was
so even everyone's guaranteed what, almost $7,000, like a little bit less.
$6,750 for 9th through 16th, and then 5th through 8th, $12,000. So you want to get to 8. You want to get out of groups. because that almost doubles your money. Fourth is 15,000, third is 18,000, second is 25, first is 40, which is actually a very nice spread. Normally, you see it a lot more top heavy, and because it's flashier, right? If you say
I wanted the top heavy flashy,
$5,000. It is more flashy.
I wanted put 100,000 up top so that like.
But it feels bad when you take fourth in seasonals, Henneke, and like you make $800 and first place makes $10,000. Right, it's like over 10x. Like that's
rough.
That's too much, right? Whereas like here, if you take fourth, you're only it's only 2.5 times more. Right?
Because third and fourth have different payouts, that must mean that they're going to do a third, fourth playoff.
They have to, yeah.
That's dope.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Get more content. Get more awesome matches.
Plus, you want a medal in the first Worlds ever, right? Even if it's just bronze, even if it's just that third place, still worth it.
Yeah, third of the first world is still pretty dope.
We were talking about this earlier. Obviously, the $40,000 is like huge and everything, but like being the first ever Runeterra world champion is worth a lot.
Huge.
Yeah, that's a pretty big deal.
It's like, I mean, until the next worlds, you're the champ. First off,
but you're the first champ
for forever. Everyone always remembers the first one, right? Everyone knows Neil Armstrong, who's buzzed that other guy. Nobody cares. And like everyone that came after him, like the first to do it goes down to history books. It's like a big deal. Like I know the name of the first Magic the Gathering world champion because I just heard it repeated. Like that happened like 10 years before I started playing, more even. No idea.
All the time. Yeah, you don't know the second one.
You just hear it. Gets referenced. No idea. Nope. No idea. Or the third or the fourth or the fifth. Like not until like, I don't know, Kai starts winning or something.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a huge
That's not true. Actually, you know what? I just remember the name of the second person. I think it was Only Rad.
Okay. That's kind of funny. But you don't remember the third.
I know.
So the lesson here is win the first or maybe the second.
And I was pretty entrenched. I did play the game on and off for like 20 freaking years. And they made a card. Only Rad had a card. Sorry if I'm butchering his name. He had a card made after from him like
that's right. The
years later.
Yeah.
Decades later. And that's the only reason I knew because it like was a card that came out.
So yeah, like the prestige of winning first worlds is a very, very big deal. I mean, I obviously was qualified. Like I knew I was going to be in worlds for a very long time. Not top 16, but the qualifiers. And I didn't really ever even think about winning. Right?
No, I thought about you winning all the time. I was like, come on, take this one home. Bring this one home.
Bring the viewers in.
Let's go.
But like, I obviously thought about doing well, like possibly doing really well in the qualifiers, but like you have to like win qualifiers and that's tough. And then you have to like win top 16. It was tough,
still a long ways away before, right?
Way. Yeah. And so now it's
right there.
It's right there. There's
one
only 16
one
of
in
us.
16
one of
shot.
them's got to win. Yeah.
Yeah.
1 in 16 is way better odds than I've had in a lot of things. So yeah, and then obviously like it can be even better than that. If like my prep's really good, if I have decks that are really good into the meta, then like my odds get even better and they get even better. So yeah, a lot of pressure. I'm excited though.
What do you think? If you won, would you be interested in having a Runeterra card with your likeness on it?
Hell yeah. Are you kidding me? I'm so vain.
Dope, right?
Give me that. Like I want an emote too.
Oh yeah.
And a card back. Oh. Be just like
sus. That'd be your emote.
Mm-hmm.
Sus.
Yep. Sus.
Super sus.
Mm-hmm.
Majin sus. See, those are things, right? If you're listening, man, those are things that like don't cost a lot of money. You don't need to add tens of thousands of dollars more to just like have some art drawn in someone's likeness or have an emote that looks like someone like, and that's so cool, or a card back or whatever. That's like, oh man, just to be enshrined in the game. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's really cool.
That'd be pretty awesome.
I hope they do stuff like that one day.
Obviously going to try really hard. I'd really like to win. Duh. But like, really, really like to win.
Yeah. That's
seasonal champ and world's champ would be really nice.
That prestige on top is what's going to make viewing it so exciting. Like $40,000 is cool, but it's like,
but there's a lot
$10,000 for seasonals
than just the money, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like we were talking about this, and for someone who makes content like me or us, right? Winning might end up being worth more than the $40,000.
Yeah, you could get sponsorships. You know, you get picked up by a team or whatever. Everyone's going to
flood of viewers and followers and whatever metrics you use, right? Flood.
Yeah, all the notoriety and visuals on it.
Your name has that people have heard your name before, and that is such a big deal in like the content world. Like if people have heard your name before and they see you on Twitch or they see your video or whatever, like they'll click on it. But if they haven't, they won't. And so if you're the first ever world champion, people will have heard your name. And so, yeah, that's worth so much right there. So a lot riding on this event, hoping I don't just like 0-3 my way out of groups or something.
Don't say it. Knock on wood. Knock on wood.
Not gonna.
All right. Well, super excited for Worlds. Let's see. We'll still have one more podcast right before Worlds. That'll be a good one.
Yeah, like might have to be
the day before, 2 days before,
because group stages.
Does it start on Friday?
Wait, it says group stage is on the 14th. That's Tuesday. Is it really Tuesday?
Are you looking at the right month?
September 14th.
It says
Tuesday.
No. Yeah, that is Tuesday.
Why? Aren't we playing the 17th, the 18th? Is this thing wrong?
Are you seeing this in an email?
Yeah. From August 25th.
Huh. Should probably get confirmation on that. I mean,
it's a little... They changed it. Okay, it's wrong in the rule book. The rule book dates are wrong. It's 16th and 17th is the round robin.
Okay.
So
which is Thursday, Friday. Oh, interesting.
And then the finals are on Saturday.
And it's really interesting also that I was thinking like, maybe like it's Europe or Asia that's on Thursday. Mm-hmm. Oh, wait. Everyone has to play together at the same time. So it's no matter where you are, someone's going to be playing in some of the regions on Thursday. Wow. So it's literally 1 week away. We're recording this on Wednesday because Bae's going to Disneyland.
So it'll be a week and 1 day. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I'm getting a little bit hyped now for it. I'm like, it's right there. It's so close. It felt so far away. I was like 2 weeks so far away, but no, it's 1 week. So we'll probably be dropping one of these on Wednesday, I guess. Doing a little catch up. Bae can tell you about how Disneyland was and the rides and whatnot.
Help would be like, I was totally at Disneyland and I was just stressed about my lineup the whole time. It was fantastic. It was exactly what I wanted out of a vacation.
So magical. Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk a little bit about like the decks going in to Worlds and kind of like what's hot right now. So like I know Aksha and Sivir was like a last minute swapperoo for you. It was always like on the radar, but what were you like a couple days out? What were you on, and then what did you end up on, and how did you get there?
So I was let me get this page out of the way so it's not glaring white. I was on kind of like Draven X, right? The Scion decks were very popular with our team and everyone else like a week before the event. And then I was pretty much sold. The second I got my hands on the Double Trouble Nami Zoe list, that was locked in. There was a couple moments where we were like, Kim, maybe we play a Bandle City, like Fizz Nami? That way maybe I could play Zoe Lee or something. And the answer was quickly found out that no. Zoe Nami is just the best. So, yeah, as soon as I got my hands on the Double Trouble Zoe Nami list, that was locked in for me. And then it was basically like deck 3. I did shift back and forth between Draven Caitlyn and Scion a lot. And then I eventually decided to go with Draven Caitlyn because I correctly assumed that there would not be very much Scion. I just figured people...
Yeah, so what happened there? Why that deck was like it blew up on the ladder, it was everywhere. It was the first people to make it to Masters. Top of Masters was all about it. Why did that deck suddenly drop off?
So all of a sudden Tree became like kind of the most popular deck along with Nami Zoe, and Scion's not that good in a Tree.
Yeah,
the deck
can struggle.
Hiccups. Deck runs like mini morphs now and stuff like that. You know, it's like it's just it's not that good in a Tree. Whereas Draven Caitlyn's really good in a Tree. But Nami Zoe bad matchup. Tree's not as good as you want it to be. Like Darkness is whatever, I guess. Like the matchups that Sion used to be crushing, he wasn't crushing as much. And then Sivir Akshan Demacia was Sion's best matchup, and then it got nerfed. And so people didn't expect to see it very much. So Sion's play rate dropped even more. Now, Draven Caitlyn does all the things Sion does, but it wins its good matchups harder. Except for like Akshan Sivir Demacia. But it doesn't, like, it's really good into like Tree and the Poppy decks, like really, really good. But it loses to Sion. It's also better into Zoe Nami. So I thought, hey, if no one's going to be bringing Sion, I want to bring Draven Caitlyn. And then I was playing Akshan Sivir Demacia a bit because I saw Arigby playing it on ladder, actually, and having a lot of success with it. With Screeching Dragons instead of Ruin Runners. So I was running that, testing that a lot, and I just kept winning. And
that's right, I remember that.
Yeah, and our team was like, we're playing a Draven deck, we're playing Nami Zoe, and we're playing a Poppy deck. That was like the plan, right? That's what we were doing. And I could not find a Poppy deck I really liked. I liked the Tree decks, but I couldn't really win very much with them. Poppy Rally decks are just not my style. Just don't do very good in those decks. They don't feel good for me.
You think those decks are powerful, though, right? Like they've definitely.
Yeah, I do. I still think they're very powerful. They're just not my thing, and I wasn't like seeing a lot of success with it.
Right.
I could probably like learn it if I put enough time into it, but I was jumping around between all the versions, and I was like, I don't know, guys, this just ain't me. Like, I'm just not feeling it. And then like every day or like half a day, I'd like sneak into our group chat and be like, I'm still winning with Sivir Demacia, by the way. Like, I just kind of like slide that in. They'd be like, but what other Demacia deck can we play? I'd be like, Sivir's doing pretty good right now. Yeah. And everyone's like, okay. And then it's the day before, and I don't think Sion's really going to show up. And like I said, Sivir Demacia's worst matchup is Sion, even pre-nerfs. And so I go, all right, Sion, I don't think it's going to be here. Let's just YOLO it. We're going to run Sivir Demacia and Caitlyn Draven. I'm just going to be like, I don't think I'm going to see a lot of Sions. And if I do, I'm going to ban it. And I'm going to play against Nami Zoe if I have to. And then I brought Nami Zoe because I think it's like just by far the best thing you can be doing right now. And yeah, that's what I ended up on. And it went very well for me. The decks felt very powerful. The lineup was just solid. Like, I just felt like I presented 3 big threats and said, deal with it. Like, like I just had 3 really, really good decks. And you just had to try to beat them. And like it forces some tough ban choices from your opponents. Like maybe they're playing Tree and they're like, man, I'd really like to ban like Draven Caitlyn, but if I do, I leave Nami Zoe up, and I have Sion, and if he doesn't ban Sion, then like that matchup's awful, right? Like stuff like that. It puts you in really tough spots. And so I really like that lineup. Obviously, like I said, it went well for me. Except for round 1. But other than that, the lineup felt perfect. I am very experienced on the Draven Tri-Beam archetype, so I felt incredibly comfortable there. I think Lost Soul is the best thing to happen to the archetype in like a long time.
That's correct.
Caitlyn gave it a little more early, like mid-game kind of tempo-ish push that I think was very helpful. Ezreal's just not really where you want to be right now. Yeah, so I like my lineup. I didn't feel incredibly comfortable on Sivir Akshan Demacia. Like, I have played the deck a lot, right? Because you just had to. But it's not my favorite deck. And so, like, I knew what I was doing was powerful, but I was kind of nervous to play it. So I just get into games and be like, well, and then you win and you go, oh yeah, it's still really good.
Okay, so riddle me this. Let's talk then a little bit about like matchups and the ladder and stuff. So I know Nami Zoe you think is like tier 0.
I think it's just a step better than everything else.
Are there any matchup, like what are the matchups you don't want to run into? Is there anything that you're like
Caitlyn. I don't really want to see Draven Caitlyn.
Okay. I've been seeing a lot of that on the ladder.
Yeah. The Poppy Rally decks can be tough sometimes. But like you have to understand the reason why Nami Zoe is better than everything in my opinion isn't because like it beats everything, because like some things do beat it, but the like absolute best deck against Nami Zoe is probably like Stony Scouts, right?
Yeah.
With Stony Suppressor, Scouts, Misfortune, and Poppy. That's probably the absolute best deck against Nami Zoe. And if you don't draw Stony Suppressor and I have Nami, I'm going to beat you. And even sometimes when you do have Stony Suppressor and I have Nami, I'm going to beat you. Like, I would maybe give that matchup like 40-60.
Yeah.
Right? Which it might be worse than that. But in my like limited testing, that's about what I expected to be. Plus, you have to play Misfortune with Stony Suppressor. Like, that's not a good deck.
Love it.
Right?
Love it.
You're going to lose to Draven Caitlyn and Sion and a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, that matchup's bad. Like the Poppy Rally decks can be very tough, but like I said, they're maybe 45, 55. Like they're not that bad. And then just like TF is, your nut draw is just clearly better than everything else in the format.
Yeah, you just had that oops, I win
You're
against
just like,
everything.
I'm on 4. You're dead.
Okay, so moving down the list then, Caitlyn Draven obviously doesn't want to see Scion, right?
Yeah.
That's like the matchup you want to
It
avoid.
can't effectively deal with Scion. And like stunning Scion for one turn is not an answer to Scion.
Yeah.
It's just going to hit you. What are you going to do? Attack into it? They're going to block.
Unless you can kill them the following turn.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not great. But then you're good into like Sivir action.
Yep.
You're good into tree decks.
Yep.
How
you
do
all
rally?
the rally decks. Really good.
Rally decks are
really good. Yeah. Like because your removal's very efficient. You clog up the board very well. Lost Soul puts a lot of pressure on your opponent's board that the deck originally didn't really have. It's just good. It's just good cards, and they deal with like on the board threats very, very, very well. And then it's also one of the better decks against Nami Zoe because you have things like Tri-Beam, which can kill a Nami straight up, or Thermo Beam, and then you also have like more burn on top of it. Most importantly, you have Ravenous Flock and Scorched Earth, which, since you're using Stump Fumes and Get Excited as your main removal spells, when you put 3 damage onto like a Nami or a Shelly or something, Guiding Touch will not be able to heal it all the way up. Ravenous Flock or Scorched Earth will still kill it. And that's a pretty big deal. And combine that with the fact that you have a pretty fast clock once the deck gets going with like the Boom Baboons and your Dravens and whatever's like you put damage really fast on your opponents and you have 3 Get Exciteds. So the deck's pretty quick and it puts a lot of pressure on your stuff. And then even if you keep your stuff alive, maybe I can Sentry it and I can stay alive another turn just long enough to kill you. So I definitely don't want to see that if I'm playing Nami Zoe. From the Draven Caitlyn side, I'm not stoked to play against Nami Zoe, right? But it's one of the decks I would rather play against Nami Zoe with.
Gotcha. So that makes sense. So now that we're seeing Draven Scion kind of fall off a bit, it makes sense that Draven Caitlyn is kind of rising up since
and
that was sort of one of its rougher
resurgence
matchup.
of Scion in top 16. I kind of expect that we will. Because the 2 big breakout decks were Sivir Akshan Demacia and Draven Caitlyn. These were the decks that I feel like the cutting edge of the meta at the time of the tournament, which is why you see it so heavily represented in the top 16. And Scion does very well into both of those decks.
Right. And so moving down, same thing with like Sivir Action doesn't really want to run into the Scion decks as well. Is that correct?
Yeah. It can play against Nami too. And that's like important. Is like the Sivir Demacia, the Poppy Rally, and the Draven Caitlyn can all play into Nami. Like there's some decks where you just can't beat Nami Zoe. Like I ran into one of my opponents brought Turbo Thralls, and I was like, oh, I just like if I get to play Nami Zoe versus Turbo Thralls, like you literally can't win the game, right? Like your best removal spell is Avalanche, and I have Sunblessed Figures, 3 of them, and my Nami has 4 health to start with. Like how are you ever going to stop me, right? So I think it's important that unless your lineup is just like really solid against everything, you need to have decks that can play against Nami Zoe because you might not have the luxury of banning it all the time.
Right. How does Sivir Akshan do against some of the other decks like Rally or Tree?
Good. I would put Sivir Akshan as slightly favored against all of those, which is actually the reason I brought it. You're just a slightly bigger Demacia deck. You know, I'm running 3 copies of Screeching Dragon. Sivir Akshan plus the Vulnerable Granters are like really, really strong because you just ship Sivir into a Poppy and that goes well.
Thumbs up.
Yeah. Woo! So yeah, I would say that I liked Sivir Akshan a lot. I added a 3rd Rally to make me a little faster versus the tree decks, which went very well for me over the course of the tournament. So yeah, I don't want to see Draven Caitlyn. Like I don't want to see PNZ Noxus on Sivir Akshan. But since my plan was if Scion shows up to ban it anyway, I was pretty happy with that trade.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense as to like what we're seeing on the ladder with like Scion falling off and those other decks like seeing a lot more play now. What about like the Mushroom deck? I know we were testing that out for a while.
Caitlyn, the Bandle City one, I think has real legs. And it did show up and did quite well. A couple of people brought it to like some success in the qualifying rounds. It's not quite there. is what it feels like.
Yeah.
It's just not quite there. If someone shows up with a really refined list, it might be very, very good. But it struggles against Poppy a lot. And it really struggles against Namizoe. But it's pretty good at everything else. But that's not enough, right? Like, Poppy and Namizoe are two of the most popular decks in the format, any flavor of Poppy. And if you can't beat that, you can't play it.
Yeah, I feel like it's not great into tree. I feel like I was beating it with tree decks.
I would say the
what more importantly
decks are better against it, but yeah, you can't beat it with tree.
What is your lineup for Worlds going to be, and why is it 3 tree decks?
It's not going to be 3 tree. Actually, it might be 3 tree decks.
I see. We're playing it coy. Okay.
Real key with 3 tree decks, which is pretty
3 tree decks. I love it. I fucking love it.
Absolutely nuts.
There is a good chance I'm bringing 3 tree decks to seasonals. It's it's at least 50-50 at this point.
That doesn't surprise me at all. Because you like literally run the same deck 3 times with like a couple changes depending on what regions you're running, right? Like maybe 6 cards are different in each deck.
Is that it?
It's not a lot.
Yeah, I mean it's the core of the deck is mostly
yeah, basically the same.
And it's quite powerful.
It is quite powerful. I think the versions with group shots, buster shots, and mini morphs are the better version, the higher interaction version, because you're more all in on the combo, which I think is the way you win anyway. Like, don't show up into a format of other Poppy decks that have rallies and combat tricks and expect to beat them on the board. It's not going to happen. Right. So play to your strengths. You have the tree win condition. You should really focus on that. So play a little more control-y, slow it down a bit, kill some things. Right. And that's what we see Real Key's lists do. And I think those are the lists that ended up doing very good.
Which region is Real Key in? EU?
No, this
or NA?
Americas. Yeah.
NA. Oh, I didn't even realize. That's so dope. Mm-hmm. Oh man, I love it. I love tree decks. They're just so much fun. I love alternate win condition stuff. I found them to be there's a lot of Caitlyn Draven running around, and that matchup's kind of rough. But in tournament, it's got the Scorched Earth, huh? Take a ban right there.
Yeah.
Sit that down.
Yeah. I mean, Scorched Earth is really good against tree. The Scorched Earth decks are very good against tree because the PNZ Noxus decks, which generally run Scorched Earth, are strong into Poppy. You have things like Arachnoid Sentry, you have Sump Dredger, things that block and attack very, very well, efficient removal spells, and a strong top end. And that's really good. Plus, if you blow up a tree, that buys you so much time, right? So much time. They got to find the second tree and finish it.
The deck does cycle through cards pretty quickly. It's got a lot of card drawing.
No, it totally does. Well,
you can even generate tree.
It doesn't have a lot of card drawing.
It's got some. It's got It's got the stick.
Sometimes they run a couple things.
Got
and the draw 2, and that's it.
And the 3/4. What's the draw 2?
Aloof Travelers. The draw 2 is hidden pathways.
Oh yes,
pathways?
That's right. Yeah. They only play one of those a lot of times.
Some versions can play Aloof Travelers. Yeah. So yeah, I mean it's got a bit. It's got a bit, right? But there's no 3x rummage here, right?
Right.
And usually you're not playing your tree 10 out of 10. And if you can buy an extra attack, that's usually enough, right? They spent 5 mana on their tree. You blow it up. 5 unit mana, right? You blow it up, and it buys you a whole turn. They have to play another tree, get the thing, and play it. That's usually enough time.
Yeah, in a tournament, you're just trying to ban that stuff and not deal with it at all.
Totally.
I wonder if there's anywhere to see Real Keys. What if they played anyone that was streaming so I could see some of that?
They're in the Discord.
Yeah. I just want to see it though. I want to see it happen in real time.
Oh, see the game.
Be fun.
Sure. I was like, you responded to the list. It's right there. It's on my second right now.
I know. All the deck lists are out. I'll probably actually link them because people might want to see that stuff down below. Okay. Well, we're probably gonna wrap up here. Anything else, Bae, to the people before you head off to Disneyland?
Nope. That's all I got.
All right, brother. Well, from both of us, hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. As always, check out all our things, subscribe to all our things. Love you, love you, love you. And keep a awarding mindset, and you cannot lose. Bye, guys. Peace.